right, guys, welcome back to another episode of B2B with Ross and Bella, where we take you behind the scenes of the music industry with the people who make it all happen. I'm Ross.
I'm Bella.
And today we're going back to back with quite the dynamic duo, Beau Cruz and Josh Posner. Beau is a rising superstar in the music industry. He's your favorite influencer's favorite DJ, and you can catch him playing all across the country from Aspen to the Hamptons alongside some of the biggest names in the industry.
And Josh, who manages Beau, is truly the one behind the scenes making it all happen. Not only does he manage Beau, but he's involved with huge influencers like Tinks on her music project, Tinks and Lucas. He is the head of branding and marketing for his own agency, AMIBA, which is a consulting firm that handles marketing for influencers, athletes, musicians, and really cool brands like Nylon Magazine.
Yeah, so thanks for being here, guys. Welcome to the pod.
Thanks
Welcome.
for having us.
Thank you.
100%. Have either of you been on a podcast before?
I've been on one podcast. Don't remember much. It was a late night in the Hamptons, and I don't know if you know Dale Moss.
Is he a Bachelor guy?
Yeah, he's a Bachelor alum, and he was with all the unwell girls. It was after I DJ'd Alex Cooper's event. I was hammered. Ended up on the podcast, on Owen Thiel's podcast with like Hallie Batchelder. It was me, Dale, a bunch of people. But yeah, so this is my first sober one.
Wait, that sounds so fun. I need to listen to that. That's like right up my
never
alley.
aired.
Saw the light
Oh,
of day.
it was a little too crazy.
Did you get to re-listen through it, though, and you were like slurring your
No,
words
they were
and
like,
stuff?
listen, guys, like this isn't going anywhere. This is for the archives.
It was probably gold.
Yeah, probably. I wish I could listen to it again.
And have you been on a podcast?
I've been on one, yeah. It was not nearly as
Not
exciting
Blackout?
as his, no.
All right, well, we're going to have some fun today. I mean, Beau, you've had a hell of a year. I scrolled through your Instagram and I was like, damn, this kid's doing his big one. I'm seeing Heidi Klum. I'm seeing OBJ. I'm seeing Alex Cooper, Alex Earl. Like, you've been doing it all. Tell me about how your year's been.
It was crazy. I think it took a few weeks to like a month to really like, comprehend what was going on.
Yeah.
Thanks to Josh, obviously. Josh always putting me in the right situations. And honestly, I've just been grinding for a while, just putting my name out there, and got lucky in the Hamptons one summer at Surf Lodge. Shout out Jay McCardozo, giving me the opportunity. And obviously, it's a great brand and great place to be a part of. Mm-hmm. And I've been producing since COVID and just trying to, keep working hard and putting myself in those situations.
100%. Would you say this has been like your breakout year for you?
Yeah, obviously, I want the music to catch up. I've had success on the live side, and right now music's just, number one priority. I think it was a great year overall, but I want the music to catch up to the live side.
Yeah. Always the dynamic that I feel like DJs have to struggle to juggle a little bit is like, cool, it's fun being a DJ, but where's the music and
I
how's
think
the
to really
producing going?
blast your career, you need both to be there.
100%,
So
yeah.
I see it coming for you, though.
Thank you.
100%.
I appreciate that.
I wanted to touch upon what you said about the opportunity where you played at Surf Lodge for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
tell me about that.
That happened a few summers ago. I started going out east with my friends, renting share houses. That's what people in New York do typically.
Mm-hmm.
They go
Summer
from the
house.
city exactly to the Hamptons, and it was nothing crazy. It was like 12 of us in a house, and I was just playing all types of house parties, venues. I did it during the COVID summer when it was strictly house parties, and then the summer after that. And then Surf Lodge reached out. They were like, "Hey, we have an opening. We need help transitioning the DJs because there's 3 DJ setups inside Surf Lodge." So I would move the equipment, and they were like, "We're not going to pay you, but in return, you get to open for some of the DJs." I was like, "Oh man,
Say less.
100%."
Yeah.
And it turned into like a full-time role. So I was doing both, that, and it turned into like an artist liaison role. So
Cool.
I was hosting the talent, and I went them to Aspen. And then, just kept working at it and kept getting those opening slots, and the opening slots turned into, bigger slots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how it all happened with Surf Lodge, honestly. Cool. And then I think that's where I met Josh.
Yeah, I was going to
We're
say,
still
Josh,
like unclear.
when did you get involved?
Yeah, I actually don't know exactly when I met him, but having a lot of experience out in the Hamptons as well, I kind of have been booking talent out there for years at a number of different venues. I think there was definitely a lot less dance music out there until I started putting people out there. Like one summer I like Diplo, Gordo, Loud Luxury, Blondish, like Zed, all in one summer.
Wow.
And since then, there's been a lot less bands and a lot more DJs. I think people started to figure out that DJs are easier and they make a lot of money for the venues. But yeah, I was out there a lot, obviously, and I don't know exactly when Beau and I met, but at the time, I was working full time in tech and doing the talent thing on the side. So at the time, I wasn't really looking to manage anyone. Honestly, even when I decided to go full time into talent, I wasn't really trying to manage anyone. But I think it's really about the people.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for specific people. So Beau and I kind of just exchanged messages back and forth for a while, and then he sent me like a pack of demos like pretty soon after I decided to go full time into talent. And I was like, fuck, like I have to do this.
And it fell
so,
into your hands.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it helps that, he's the most handsome man alive.
We'll get to that.
But beyond that, like the music's really good. And at the time we knew each other enough to know, I knew he was like a good kid and all that. But yeah, I got involved then. So that was about like a little over a year ago, like almost a year and a half ago.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to learn a little bit more about your relationship and sort of how you knew you were both the right fit for that artist-manager relationship. And you said that this has sort of been your breakout year on the live side, right? And you're getting a ton of new opportunities and a lot of opportunities that I think a lot of artists in your position would like die to have. Can you sort of talk us through how you've gotten to this place, or was it really just the Surf Lodge opportunity? You guys started your relationship and that really just started the track for where you are today?
Yeah, I think it was both. I think the relationship between me and Josh and having him as a manager is huge. He's built a reputation for himself in the music industry, and he's opened a lot of doors for me. And then on top of that, I didn't really say no to gigs a lot a few years ago, so I would always say yes, just get my name out there. And then just being in that crowd, working with those artists, you meet a lot of different people, and they know people that own venues, and you just build relationships with all those people. Yeah. And when they give you an opportunity, you have to say yes. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of what I've been doing. Mm-hmm. So that coupled with him is like
perfect pair.
It helps. It helps a lot.
Nice.
For sure.
Cool. Yeah,
has there been a opportunity that you've had or a show that you've played the last year where it like really hit you like, oh shit, this is actually happening?
Yeah. July 3rd, this past summer at Surf Lodge, was fortunate enough to have the opening slot for Alesso. And places packed, great people, beautiful people were there.
I'm sure very beautiful.
And I was opening, and then probably halfway into my set, John Summit comes through the crowd. Everybody's like going crazy. I'm like, who is that? I'm like, oh fuck, it's John.
The big dog.
Yeah. So John came on stage. I actually played with him the night before. He like dapped me up, and I was like, oh shit, it's happening. And then I don't know how it happened, but it was a magical moment because John hopped on with Alesso, and the place went absolutely crazy. And that was like, wow. Yeah. And I was like right behind them. It was crazy just to see how the crowd interacts with them, their music, their hits. Obviously, you know them all. Everybody does.
Yeah. I mean, Alesso, legend. John becoming a legend. He is a legend.
Yeah.
But like long-term legend too. And that just has to be a pinch me moment. I think everyone listening probably saw it. It was super viral. Josh, tell me how you got involved in that moment.
Okay. To take it back a couple days from there. So I've known John for a while. I'm sure everyone would be like, oh, I'm friends with John. I'm like, we're not like best friends, but I booked him for the first time in Tulum probably like 5 years ago. And we were both there for 5 days. So just hung out a lot. So we've been, loosely friends ever since. And after his MSG show, I guess he spur of the moment decided to run it to the Hamptons. And so I'm like on my way out to the Hamptons on, I think it was like a Tuesday, because that like it was like the endless 4th of July week. It like fell on like a Thursday. So then like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday were like all big out there. And he FaceTimed me and was like, yo, I'm coming to the Hamptons. Like, let's do something. So that night he was like, I'm trying to do something tonight. And I'm like, it's the Hamptons on a Tuesday. Like, nothing's open. But I called one of the owners of the places I work with and I was like, hey, can we open it up just for like a small group of people? So we did. And if you know John, you know he is just incapable of not DJing. He was like, I'm not DJing. I'm like, cool, I don't care. And by the time I got there, which was like 10 minutes after he was there, he was already DJing.
Yeah.
So that turned into like a small little thing for like mostly his friends. And then the next day was Alesso at Surf Lodge, and my best friend manages Alesso. Shout out Adam. And like I sort of work with Surf Lodge on some things. So I was just talking to him, and John hit me the next day, was like, that was a lot of fun. Like, what are you doing today? Told him I was going to Alesso at Surf Lodge. Kind of similar thing. He was like, cool, like, can I come? Blah, blah, blah. Like, no expectations of anyone playing anything or and not like nothing like that. But he shows up, and Sandro and him like kind of knew each other a little bit, but I don't think like super well. And he was like, oh, like, let me come up. I'll say hi, whatever. And like, he stood there and like you can just tell he just can't help himself.
He's excited.
He's like, let me plug it.
And he kind of looked at me and was like, is it okay? So I grabbed Adam. I'm like, is it okay? He asked Sandro. Sandro's like, of course. So yeah, that's kind of how that all went down. And then, yeah, I mean, I didn't fully realize it was going to go like everywhere, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's so interesting to hear, like, you know, you do see moments like that go extremely viral and everybody sees them on Instagram or TikTok, but just to sort of realize some of the things that have to happen in the background, some of the lines and dots that need to be connected to make something like that happen, is sort of comes down to connectors like you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I think the interesting part too is like, that was a very, very sold out show already. And so when he decided he wanted to come with, like, he was with some other high profile people, and I had to like figure out where to put him, and they were like, we like moved a table around and like kind of made a new one.
Yeah.
Because obviously like Alesso at Surf Lodge was already like by far the biggest draw in town, and then that made it
be
a
the
lot,
cherry
a lot
on
more.
top.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It's cool. I mean, it's cool to have your hand in some of those like really fun big moments in this scene. So that's very fun. I want to go back to the dynamic between you two. We want to loop you back in here, Beau.
Okay.
What potential did you see, aside from the fact that, according to you, he's the most beautiful man on earth?
Thank you.
I mean, I think, like I said, I wasn't like trying to manage people, and I'm still like very much building the plane as I fly it. I'm lucky enough to have some really close friends, Adam being the main one that I've mentioned before, who like kind of, whenever I have a question or don't know what I'm doing, I have people I can go to that are, you know, the best in the business at this. So that allows me to like be able to figure it out. I obviously have a lot of experience on the live side, so I always felt really good that like if the opportunity came along, that like I would know what to do to build up an artist on the live front. The music side, I'm very much learning as I go. But as far as Beau goes, like, I think it's just like a personal connection with someone. Like, you have to, when you're managing someone, it's like their entire life, and like this is a human being, and so like you very much have to vibe with them. But I think also like more importantly, it's a ton of work, and like if it doesn't feel fun and feel easy and feel like you're also supporting someone that you like really want to see succeed, then like it's never gonna work.
Yeah.
Right.
I think both of my clients on the music side, like I just feel very strongly about them as people. But for Beau, I mean, look, he was young. I think there's some intangible it factor. I think that I've again been lucky enough to be around some of the biggest stars in dance music, and I think there's a like gravitational pull or like something you can't really describe. I think when like a star walks into the room, I think John's someone who has it. I think Alesso's someone who has it, and it's like people are just drawn to them. Like they walk into a room and people are like, yes, they're famous, so that's part of it, but like people are just like, oh shit, like, and I think
presence.
Beau really had that, and especially for someone who like was not like massively famous or anything like that. Like walked into a room, walked into a party, and people just kind of like gravitate towards them. They carry themselves a certain way. I don't really know how else to describe it. It's kind of just like that it factor. So that was what like I think initially drew me to him. And then when we started working together, you just build up that connection and vibe and like very much care so deeply about them and their success that like it becomes not really work.
Yeah. And Beau, did you have other management suitors that were coming after you, or did you know, like, as soon as Josh reached out, like, you know, this is who I want to go with, this is who I think can help propel my career where I want to get to?
For sure. Yeah. I had some people interested. I also had, we had like a co-management agreement at first. That didn't work out. And then Josh and I just started working full time. And the thing that stood out with Josh was he's an extremely hard worker and knows how to communicate with people. And he's very honest. And it may not be the best news that you want to hear, but I'd rather hear the truth than try to, you know, spew some bullshit on me.
Can you share one of the tough truths that he's maybe shared with you?
Streaming numbers. No, I'm kidding. No, but I remember he said one thing to me. He was like, listen, if I'm ever working harder than you, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And that kind of just stuck with me since day one.
So we've been talking about how there's sort of a line in the sand between live and producing your own music, right? And I want to hear a little bit more about the journey that you've been on recently with your production. I think just to start here, like, have you had any mentors or people who have helped you on that journey so far?
I started my production journey during COVID. I took Kygo's class.
Cool.
And then I kind of realized that you could just teach yourself online through YouTube. Any questions you have. And that goes for anything in art, I feel like, or
100%.
Anything, you know, in any industry.
Coursera, baby.
Yeah. You got GPT now, you got YouTube, you have all the tools in front of you. If you need to find something out, you could find the answer. So I just started teaching myself, and then through a friend, like a producer friend I had, he introduced me to the studio in Brooklyn called Antenna, and those guys are some of the best producers in the world. They're called AMIBA. One of them's married to Evan Gia, who has that song Westworld. I don't know if you know that song. And they do a lot of ghost production for, you know, the biggest names in the industry. So just being a part of that family, when they're, you know, the best in the game, it kind of rubs off. You just seeing different techniques and stuff like that. But yeah, I think just teaching yourself how to do things and trial and error. And I try to, you know, make 2 ideas per day and try to push them forward. And trial and error, I think.
Production is hard. It's very hard.
It's hard.
I mean, the fact that you are even able to put out tracks, like teaching yourself, is crazy. I just have looked at Ableton and I'm like, no, thank you. I'm never going to learn. So good job. The streaming numbers will increase. Don't worry.
So is Antenna like a co-working space almost for producers? Would you?
It's a studio.
Yeah.
But you run into people all the time. And one of the guys there I work with closely, especially with like tracking vocals and stuff like that. And they host stuff all the time. They have like timeshares that you could do.
Sweet.
And it's great. It's just like a great community to learn from. And any questions I have, I ask them.
Yeah.
Especially like mixing and mastering. It's a whole nother game.
Yeah.
We saw that you quit your corporate job to pursue this full time. What were you doing before?
So I worked at a fintech company. It was a platform that raised money with AI. Basically, you could see companies that are going to raise capital. And then they also had an investment banking division. And I was doing that while I was doing like surf lodge on the weekend. Basically, I was living.
Fun.
How did you balance
double
that?
life?
Did you
The
tell
double
anyone?
life.
Did you tell anyone at work or?
So I didn't tell anybody at first, and then
Like you guys don't know it, but I was just
They like
back to back
see you
with
on
Alesso.
TikTok. They're like,
yeah.
What's going on?
They follow me on Instagram, like a couple of them that were like kind of my age and like I got along with, and they were like, "What the hell are you doing on the weekends?" Like, looking at my Instagram stories.
I love it.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. And then that summer, the first summer of Surf Lodge, I went back to the office right after Labor Day and lasted like 3 hours. I was like, guys,
I'm over it.
You know,
is
when you
not
just
me.
know,
Yeah.
like you're just like, I can't do this anymore.
Did
Yeah.
you quit on the spot?
Like I gave them like 2 days heads up. I'm like, I love
out.
you guys. Thank you so much.
Did it feel so good?
It did. Yeah.
I like have a fantasy about quitting my job every day. I'm just like, oh, what if I just was like, I'm out.
I know.
If my employer hears this, I'm kidding. I don't mean it.
She's not kidding.
Speaking of jobs, let's talk about you, Josh. You have so many titles. As you know, I've been struggling to get them down.
I struggle with it every day.
Break it down. What do you do? All the facets of it.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things is I book talent. And that was the thing that like started while I was still full-time in tech. One of my tech jobs, I worked for a music live streaming company. And originally the business model was mop up like festival rights and sell ads against it. And I did that, did all the Rolling Loud live streams. I did a global deal with AEG to do 12 of their festivals. And then like right after we signed that deal, COVID hit and we had no content. And so I had to scramble, did a very large deal with Coca-Cola to do 180 artist live streams over 60 days when everyone was trapped at home.
Yeah, it's a good time to be in live streams.
Yeah, exactly. But then like we signed the deal, I was like, oh shit, like someone has to like go figure out how to get all these artists to do this.
Yeah.
So I kind of just like figured that out. And then coming out of COVID, it was like booking a live stream is no different than booking a live show. So people just started coming to me to do live events bookings. So that's when I started in the Hamptons. Had a couple venues out there I was working with, Common Ground and Rushmeyer's, and that was kind of the summer I mentioned where I brought all those DJs out there. And that business just sort of like started to snowball and get bigger. So December of not this past year, the year before, I was also kind of living a double life, and I was like, oh shit, like this is getting to be too much. Like people in tech didn't know I had had the music job. People in music didn't know I had a full-time job. So it was getting to be too much. So I found AMIBA, which my partner Mo and Danielle founded. I don't know exactly when, but they founded it. And so basically we made a deal for me to like kind of bolt on my services to what was already existing there. My partner Danielle in LA manages 30 influencers exclusively. Mo had built a business on really doing like startup and equity-based deals for celebrity talent. So we help celebrities launch brands. We help startups get celebrity brand ambassadors and structuring it with equity. And I thought that part of the business was really interesting because it was like kind of similar to stuff I was used to in the tech world and had like long-term upside. And so basically I made a deal where I was like, all right, I'll do this stuff with you. Like I'll help work on it because he had a lot of deal flow. And then I'll just like kind of bolt on what I'm already doing to your services. So live event talent booking is one of them. I also do a lot of talent brand partnerships. So like, for example, for Bustle Digital Group, which owns Nylon, W Magazine, Elite Daily, Bustle, I do all their live events talent booking. So like the Nylon parties at Art Basel and Coachella and all that. But I also do a lot of brand work. So like when they have a brand that comes in and there's talent that needs to be a part of it, I source and negotiate a lot of that talent. And then, you know, a natural extension of the live event side is like I have a pretty big brand network because I come from that world. And so like selling sponsorships is kind of a natural extension. Like I think that's the interesting part about all the random things I do is like there is kind of a natural extension of all of it. They are kind of all connected to each other and feed off of each other. And like I said, I do the equity deals and like brand partnership side of it. And then, of course, management as well. And yeah, I think like at first I'm like, am I doing too much? Definitely possible still. But I do think they like feed off of each other well. Like I'm able to kind of use the stuff I book talent for to like help the people I'm managing as well. And so it has found like this nice, I guess, flywheel, if you will, of like building off of each other. But it definitely takes way too long to explain.
Well, you seem to be doing a lot. I'm going to ask you to brag about yourself for a second here. What do you think it is about you as a person that has allowed you to not only get into the role that you have, but do it successfully?
I still don't really think I'm that successful yet, but no, I think really it's just relationships and people. Like I have a good read on people. And I take relationships really seriously. I think I'm pretty good at building them and maintaining them. And I think that like this whole, really every industry to me is like built on relationships, built on who you know, and built on like people respecting you and wanting to do business with you. Because there's so many people in all of these industries, but you know, music is definitely one where it's like, there's so many people that's like, it's kind of just a drag to do business with. And it's like those, you know, those are going to be, they're not as, I don't think they'll have as much longevity. And I think when people want to work with you, things just happen. And I also just like, am very relentless in terms of like, when I first decided to do this, I just decided I was going to be everywhere, like go to everything, like no matter how much it tired me out. And that just really like amplified the network. Like I said, I've had like a lot of really close friends who have done a lot for me. And as I've like ventured into this new world, so that was certainly helpful. But yeah, I think it's really just the relationship building part of things. I definitely understand how to do that.
Yeah, the networking of it all is really, really a huge factor. And that's a common theme that we pick up on doing this podcast.
Yeah, I think like people are always like, oh, like AI is going to take my job. I'm like, well, the one thing AI can't do is like network and have like real personal relationships with people. So like, that's kind of how I like
think a lot of
myself
people
from robots
wish
taking
that
over
it
the world.
could, because the networking can be the daunting part of it all. But
for sure, but it's also like, you know, maybe I'm going to be safe from the robot takeover because I have a good network.
I feel like you will be. I'm not worried.
There's not many jobs that are safe from the AI takeover these days. Like literally in every industry, I feel like people are just getting laid off left and right. So.
Exactly. Like, you know, if it requires a human connection, then I think you're in a good spot.
What did you major in college?
Sport management.
Okay. Do you feel like there's any ties back to that at all? Things you learned?
Yeah, I mean, I started my career in sports mostly. My first job out of college was with the Chicago White Sox.
Cool.
And even when I was in the agency world, I was doing a lot of brand partnerships, mostly in sports. I did some in music. I always liked music. But yeah, I mean, they're the same like concept. I think anytime you have like entertainment, brands, and all of that, like sports and music aren't that much different in terms of like why someone would align with a athlete or a sports property. It's the same thing. It's like meeting people in the area they care about. People like music, people like sports. It's fun. They have allegiances to artists and athletes and all that. So like it is kind of the same concept. It's definitely a different culture, but it's the same concept from like a brand and marketing perspective and like building up a profile of a person.
Yeah. And how about you? What did you major in?
Same thing.
Really?
Same school.
No way.
Interesting. What school?
We both went to Michigan.
Sweet.
Nice.
Go
Nice.
Blue.
When did you
Go Blue.
graduate?
2019.
So you're in 97.
Yeah.
Same.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
I
Okay.
pegged you as a little younger.
Yeah, you look super young.
Yeah, I do get that a lot. Maybe it's that I can't grow facial hair. But
That definitely has something to do with it.
None at all.
a little bit, but it doesn't look good.
Just in the patchy stage.
Exactly. Where are you from?
We're from Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of us. Born and raised. I went to Loyola, Chicago.
I went to University of Buffalo for 3 years. Lehigh for 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys Bills Mafia?
Hell
To the
yeah.
core.
Nice.
Of course we are.
Are you guys Jets or Giants?
I'm a Jet fan.
Jets
I
fan?
tried to bring him on. He's like, no, shut up. I'm not going to that miserable franchise.
How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers going bye-bye?
To be honest, he had a pretty good season last year.
Yeah.
I know. I feel bad for him. Did you watch his documentary?
No, I didn't watch it yet.
Poor
Got
guy.
him.
I mean, not poor guy. He's like fucking millionaire, but
Yeah.
he genuinely has been through a lot. And I
Yeah.
feel like you can tell he's like going and doing ayahuasca now because he's depressed as fuck.
He's just like, yeah.
Time to do ayahuasca. So we've been talking a lot about obviously musicians and influencers, but I feel like we've seen a theme recently where influencers are starting to sort of trek into the musical scene and they're launching DJ careers and stuff, sometimes with mixed reactions from the scene, sometimes good, sometimes bad. How do you think that affects the scene? I would be interested to hear both of your perspectives there.
I'll let you go first on that.
All right. I think what I've discovered getting closer to this world is like not all influencers are the same, not all are created equal, and I think the reasons behind doing this is different for everyone. So I think that's definitely part of it. Like I think if it's like a money grab where you're like I have a platform, like I could probably get some fees and whatever, like it's gonna be very obvious.
Yeah.
But I think there's an element of like also not taking yourself too seriously. Like I know with Tinks and Lucas when they decided to do this, like they just like really like music and they like music events, and like yes, she has a big platform, but like they wanted to just like do this for fun. Like they wanted to go to the places they already wanted to go to, but like use DJing as a vehicle to be there. And like you know, she has an insanely engaged audience, and it just gave like another touch point where it's like rather than like taking you know, paying to go do a meet and greet. Like, this is just like a more fun way of approaching it. So I think it really also depends how you approach it.
Yeah.
But I also think like what people don't realize is like content and marketing and all that stuff is like just as important as the music is at this point.
Yeah.
For a DJ. So it's like, you know, if you're a DJ, you're basically have to become an influencer anyways
Right.
to like make your music go and like really grow as a star. Like, and so it's like kind of the other way around in this case, but I don't
Right.
think there's like anything really wrong with that. It's like two parts of being a DJ is like the influencing marketing side and then the music side. So it's like in one case, you come from the music side and you have to learn how to do the influencing and,
Right.
and the marketing
Yep.
and the content side. And most DJs hate doing the content side.
Yeah.
We've picked up
But
on
then,
that. Yeah.
but then the influencers, like they already know the content side. Now they have to learn the music. If they
Right.
actually do and they take it seriously and they like go about it the right way and are willing to like take looks that are like building towards something the way everyone else is, I don't really see an issue with it. But I think it is pretty obvious when like an influencer has, you know, whatever, however many millions of followers, and they're just like very much in it to like go grab 10K
Yeah.
at a
And they're just
club to
horrible at
party.
DJing.
Yeah, and they have no like they're not like trying to like
They're
get
fully-
better
Right.
or anything like that. Like
Right.
then it's obvious. And I
Yeah.
think that is like not chill. But
Yeah,
I
it can't
think
take you as
the
far.
other way around, like as long as you take it seriously and you want to be a part of the community, I don't really see a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But-
the thing is with these influencers is like their fans are so
Nuts.
supportive of them that's like any venture that they do, it's a built-in fan base already.
And that's what like any DJ aspires to have, right? It's,
Right.
like, really rabid
That's like
fans.
one of the hardest
Like,
parts.
it's-
So I get it. What do you think, Beau?
I respect it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those haters who's like, oh, they're just an influencer trying to be a DJ. I respect it. Most of them are actually, they have good music taste.
Yeah.
And like being a content creator, being an influencer is not easy and
No.
it takes a lot of work. I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really hard.
So
Yeah.
much editing, dude.
really
The
hard.
editing, like
The consistency is
It's
what we
insane.
struggle with.
it's a lot. And
Yeah.
like to have that work ethic and the, you know, focus and intensity to do that. From what I've seen with the influencer, you know, DJs, it kind of translates well for them, and
Yeah.
they don't seem like they're cheating anything. Like
Right.
they genuinely enjoy it. Obviously, there's a handful that may just do it for a money grab, but at the end of the day, from what I've seen,
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah.
From an artist perspective, how do you handle and balance the musician playing live sets, you know, producing music, and also having to be a little bit of an influencer on the side? Has that been hard for you?
Yeah, for sure. Learning, I mean, you have to learn from scratch, basically, how to create content, how to edit clips, how to film yourself, getting comfortable talking to yourself in
Yeah.
front of a camera. It's a weird concept.
Yeah.
And building that muscle. In terms of like, you know, how I divvy up my day, it's like I allocate X amount of hours to content. I allocate X amount of, you know, time for production and figure it out as I go, trial and error things. But it's hard. It's not easy.
No,
It's
I
like
bet.
creating content's hard.
Yeah.
You guys know.
It is.
Yeah.
What
So-
do you think it takes from an artist's perspective, and either one of you can provide answer on this, like to build that credibility where you can then translate into the other side of the music industry that's not as commercial?
That's true. I feel like there are two sides of music and more specifically house music, right? There's sort of the underground aspect, which like I feel like people in house music love to be like in the underground, and then there's more of the commercial lane.
You see it happening a lot easier when you do start off like a John Summit, where he starts off as a DJ and then he can kind of become like an influencer and like the tweets and the TikToks and all that stuff. But it's definitely harder on the other side, where you're as well received in the more underground world, where like, you know, the ravers accept you and the festival goers and the house music heads.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really just is obvious. Like people can tell authenticity. Like people can tell if you're not in it for the right reasons and you're not staying consistent. Like if you're expecting to like, oh, I have a big platform and like I'm gonna, you know, all the ravers at EDC are going to accept me after like 4 days. Like that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think consistency is key to everything. But I also think like this like kind of divide between like the underground and the more commercial spaces these days is like kind of, I've always thought it's kind of funny because like the reality is like any underground DJ would love to have a hit.
Yeah.
Like it just is what it is. And like take John for a perfect example. Like he's a, you know, someone who's obviously like one of probably the most talented producer. Like he's incredible, but like I wouldn't say some of his hits are like particularly underground. Like those are like commercial hits to me.
Yeah.
And like he's still respected in both worlds. Like ultimately that is the goal. Like
Yes.
even if you ask most underground DJs, would you want a number one, you know, radio hit? Every single one of them is going to say yes, or they're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you think it's more about being able, like in the commercial lane, being able to like sell tables, sell tickets, sell bottles, or like do you think that when with influencer DJs there needs to be that real like artistry behind it? And what do you look for?
Yeah, I mean, I think the dirty little secret is like it's always about tickets and tables and like no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if it's underground, not like it is a business. Like
Yeah.
when you're paying someone, and you know, DJ fees are insane these days, and so like doesn't matter underground, commercial, whatever. Like when you're paying someone that much money, like you expect a result. You know,
Absolutely.
it's an ROI thing. And I think there's just different ways of getting there. There's like building up those really hardcore fans who are, you know, and there's some artists that like, you know, are going to crush GA ticket sales, but are not going to do bottles. And that's just like, I don't think there's a way of like controlling that, but it is something that happens. As far as what I look for, I mean, I'm really not trying to manage anyone else, but,
You're capped out.
but I think it just comes down to that personal connection. Like
Yeah.
I just, it's unlike any other job anyone could ever have, because it is like you're taking care of someone's life, like
Yeah.
their well-being basically. So it just has to be like very natural, fitting connection with that person.
Makes sense.
And obviously like, I think it's the total package thing. Like, you know, we just talked about music and content being two parts of the thing. Like the brand has to be right. Like it's so hard to
Yeah.
make it as an artist, like insanely hard. Even if you check every box, you still have like a, you know, 1 in a million
There's always
chance
the
of
next
like
goal to hit,
making
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if you were to run through a checklist, it's like, all right, the music has to be good. They have to understand content and branding. I think it definitely helps to be good looking. And they have to be personable.
Pretty privileged.
And even then, it's like still a really small chance of actually making
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Speaking of good music, Beau, you recently released Break Your Heart, right? Which was a
Yeah.
single you just dropped. And you mentioned earlier that you try to come up with 2 new ideas a day. Not that you finish them, but that, you know, it's a starting point for them. Can you walk us through Break Your Heart and like how you knew that it got to a point where it was releasable? I'm sure you were working on it, had many different drafts, but.
Yeah. So I started that song out in Montauk. I was just, honestly, I love starting with vocals first.
Okay.
I think vocals are really important.
Mm-hmm.
Came across that vocal, pitched it all the way down. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Then I made the synth, which is like the main part of the song. It's like a ravey stab.
Mm-hmm.
It had a good feel to it. I love house music, and it's kind of making a comeback a little bit. Like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah. And pushed it forward in like a day. Josh was like, can you make me another one of these?
More.
Which I did. There's another song that's going to come out in the summer. But
Cool.
yeah, you just know. It's a feeling. Music is feeling,
Yeah.
right? It's like a drug. So when you know, we were talking about like courses before and like how I learned production. One of those was Timbaland's course. And
Okay.
he just goes straight feeling, like doesn't even
Dude.
think.
Yeah.
Like all like if he's not in a groove, if he doesn't feel it, it's done. Like,
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
so
done.
happy you said that because I have been saying Timbaland is literally the best producer
goat.
ever. His beats, his fucking tracks, like they are legendary.
Yeah.
Some of my favorites of all time. And
Oh,
I'm loving like
100%.
all the house mixes of them now. I'm like, oh, Timbaland back for more. But yeah, that's sick. Like that's the perfect person to study.
Like, he'll be in a groove and he'll be like, I hear a garbage can. He'll go get like a garbage can and just start banging the garbage can and put it in the song. And you're like, what?
I'm feeling a garbage can.
I love it. So what are some of your big goals for, I guess, let's just say the next year?
Yeah.
Achievable ones.
Big goals the next year, I think just releasing music consistently and content consistently and just keep improving and get better at both production and content creation.
Mm-hmm.
The results are the results.
Yeah.
I can't control them. as long as I could do my best and stick to a plan, stick to consistency, like that's all I can
love
do,
that.
right?
Yeah. Do you have any big shows coming up, like in the next year that you're super pumped for them?
Yeah, first festivals, which is cool.
Sick.
Palm Tree and Breakaway.
Awesome.
So stoked for that.
That's very
Breakaway
exciting.
in Michigan, is it? SL?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Massachusetts.
Nice.
And Massachusetts.
Breakaway is a pretty cool concept. It's like a traveling festival, essentially, right? Like the concept is there, the festival is there, and then they just bring it all over the country.
Yeah, the founder of Breakaway is a good friend of mine. Went to Michigan as well, and I'm actually they're a new client.
Nice.
Cool.
Not on the festival side, but like they're doing so much cool stuff beyond even the festivals. Like the pop up this week at SLS is a perfect example. Like they're gonna keep doing that and expanding it a lot. But yeah, they really like cornered. I think it was really smart to begin with,
100%.
because like everyone wants to like go to New York and LA and Miami and start a festival, and that's all well and good, but like also highly competitive, very high capital intensive. I mean, it's always high capital intensive, but I think what they did with like kind of cornering secondary markets and like putting on these massive festivals in a market that doesn't get to see that every day. It's like New York, like just kind of jaded. It's like someone does a 3-day festival. It's like I get 10 opportunities to see all these artists throughout the year if I want to. Like it's really not a big deal if I miss it. Whereas if you're in Kansas City and Alesso and Fisher and Marshmello are coming to your city, you probably don't get that many chances.
Yeah.
So like they've really crushed that market.
Yeah, so smart.
And it's a really strong base. And then like now they have a ton of leverage of like all that, and they're starting to like expand into there might be one coming in New York. We'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting concept. I mean, they've done really well.
Yeah. Okay, so if you could play one venue or festival tomorrow, what would it be?
Ooh, one venue or festival tomorrow. So I played like that I haven't played yet.
Yeah, like literally goal tick off your list of places that you would want to play in your life.
In my life, Coachella, 100%.
I knew you were going to say it. I mean,
yeah.
that's like for every artist, I think. It's a huge milestone.
100%. I'm doing some events there this year.
Cool.
But to be on like a Coachella lineup would be insane.
Yeah, Coachella's got to be my favorite festival. Like
So
everyone
fun.
wants to hate on it, but it's like
It's extremely
purely
well run.
the best festival out there. Like
The
Great
grass,
taste.
It's
the grass on the
amazing.
feet it's the best grass. You literally don't get better
Ross
grass
is like,
anywhere.
It's like the
grass.
Masters.
Pristine grass.
The grass is unmatched.
A1
dude.
grass.
The
Like, there would be
greenest-
no tornado season.
we're only
No,
going
no.
to Coachella for the grass.
Yeah. Take some home in my pocket. or
Okay,
something.
so Coachella's dream venue. We're gonna manifest that, like
Thank you.
main stage vibes. And then, what would be your dream B2B? Because I know you've had some like really crazy ones, which we need the OBJ story after.
Dream B2B. Probably Pausa would be cool.
That would be
Yeah.
sick.
He's got like that OG energy.
Oh,
Pausa's
yeah.
the
like,
best. He's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my
He's got
favorite
that cool
DJs for
vibe.
sure.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll manifest that for you too.
For sure.
Okay, so
Thank
tell
you.
us the OBJ story.
The OBJ story. So we were in Aspen, and the festival was going on, the Palm Tree Festival, and I had a set for an after party at the W in Aspen, and then that was Friday night, and then Saturday night was the last night of the festival. And after the festival, all the main artists were like, "Okay, it's over. Like, we could go enjoy ourselves and like have fun." So there was another after party at this huge house. They had 3 houses. This was all part of the property. One of the houses was just for
Strictly party house.
strictly a
Party
party
house.
house. And like the security, the
Yeah.
whole thing. And Josh was like, "Yeah, you're gonna play this party." I'm like, "Okay." Probably started at like 11. Didn't have headphones. Hopped on, and started playing the room. There was a bunch of high-profile people there. The Earls were there. Kygo was there. Fisher was there.
Crazy.
And built up the vibe, and then I guess everybody was feeling themselves. It was the last night of the festival, and OBJ just comes behind the decks, and he's like, "All right, like, what do you got?" And he
What do
like
you got?
knew what he was
He
doing.
knows how to DJ.
Like, he was scrolling through like the USB, like no
That's
problem.
so
I was like,
funny.
"Damn,
Well,
bro, you've done this
he
before."
like he wasn't actually DJing, but he did this very funny thing where he would like pick a song and then like, I don't know if he was like miming to Beau. He was like, he would like point at it and then like go like this and be like, that was like his signal to be like, play this.
He's like this one.
So he was like kind of like ghost DJing.
Basically his version of having the iPhone with the song that he wants.
He was on off.
But when you're OBJ, you can like actually pull it off.
Like
Right.
OBJ, no requests.
What did
today,
what did
sorry.
he request? What were some tracks he requested?
Hot in here. You know,
I love how you had these on
It honestly
USB
hit.
too.
Nelly?
Immediately,
I mean,
yeah.
when does it not hit?
and it hit.
That's so
it
funny.
hit.
I love it.
And he's like the best dancer
Oh, yeah.
on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that guy?
Oh
dance?
yeah,
You can
yeah.
move.
celebrations are
Yeah.
unmatched.
Do you feel more pressure in like a room of celebrities when you're playing, or do you feel more pressure like in a room full of just like music lovers that you don't know?
I'd say the celebrities are not celebrities. I think it's the room size. I think smaller venues are honestly like more intimidating.
Oh, for sure, because you,
know?
can make eye contact with everyone.
Yeah, so it's like everybody's watching you and like it's kind of small and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. It's just those vibes are very.
So the venue size is what really determines it.
Yeah, I think so, and it could be opposite for other people, but
Yeah.
yeah, those get me. Those get me good.
So just again scrolling through your Instagram, I think some of the other people you've been with, like Alex Earl, Alex Cooper, how did those opportunities come? How were those shows or those parties to play?
The Alex Cooper party, they did something in the Hamptons, and honestly, I was aggressive on social media, just posting like as much as possible because I would play every weekend. I was like, you know, people would tell me just post, like just film yourself, what you're doing, because when people go out there, you know, they may want to see you. And Unwell reached out. They DM'd me on Instagram, and then they also reached out to Josh because I have his like the management email. And then it, you know, we set something up. Alex Cooper launched out there, and it was a great time. It was like a 2-day event.
It was her 30th birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's so
I'm
sick.
sure they pulled out all the stops. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the same night as the podcast, and
And then
You were unwell.
the rest
that
is
was-
history.
that was
I love it.
yeah, and then the Alex Earl thing, that was through Palm Tree, because after that after party in Aspen, we set something up for me to come down here once a month and
Nice.
and play at Palm Tree Club. Have you guys been to?
We have not been
We
to Palm
actually
Tree.
haven't.
It's awesome.
Is
I've
it?
heard. I've
So
heard.
it's a hotel, right?
Yeah, it used to be Shuckers, I think it was called.
Oh, okay.
And they just like kind of gave it a facelift, and
Right on the water.
yeah, and it's kind of like what the Palm Tree brand is all about. And so one of my best friends is president of Palm Tree
Yeah.
Festival side. So yeah, I've been bothering him about Beau for a very long time, and he kind of like, you know, maybe didn't believe me until Aspen, and then they were like, oh shit, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think he knows very well how to play to a room and get the people going. But yeah, the Alex Earl thing was the kickoff of his residency down here in Miami. It just honestly that just happened to fall over the same time. And obviously doing support for Zed works out well for him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
absolutely.
you have a residency at Palm Tree Club going forward.
Yeah,
Once
Awesome.
a month.
once a month.
Nice. That's super
Yeah.
exciting. That's dope.
Yeah, it's a really cool spot. You guys,
So you'll be
you
down
guys should
here
come.
quite
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah, there you go.
We would love to. We absolutely will.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your DMs.
For sure.
I don't know how much we can say. Obviously, you have a girlfriend, right?
Yeah. I have a girlfriend.
So, like, what? Josh just like gave us a little bit of like Beau's DMs are fucking crazy. Like, is it just a lot of blue check marks? Are you like, what the hell? This person wants to hang.
OBJ wants my number. What the hell?
Not that far. But there's some blue check marks. But they just started to get really funny and just like so out of pocket.
Yeah.
And I would like screenshot them and send them to Josh and like other people, and like, you have to start like a folder of these and
Yeah.
like start, you know, archiving these.
Do you post them or?
No, but one day I will.
We have an idea. He has a folder of all the crazy ones. And like there's some like pretty high profile people that have said some wild shit to him. But like we're gonna black out the names, of course. And one day when he's doing like a big show, scroll him across the screen and like the LED screen.
I'm so
while he's
obsessed with
playing.
that idea.
Yeah, that's a great
Like
idea.
it's amazing. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us one, not the person, but just like one of the crazy things?
Some unhinged shit.
Just give us one.
One girl was just like, "You're my death row meal." Like, where can we meet up?
Period. Good for her.
There's also some like wild like phone signs too.
Yeah,
like,
at
while
the
he's
show.
playing.
Oh yeah. Like
Like,
daddy.
I don't even know if I'm like allowed to say this. on
You're
the
You're
allowed
allowed
to
to
say
say
everything.
anything.
There was like a girl that like I'm not exaggerating. She did not move for 30 minutes. Like she was determined to like make sure everyone saw this. It was like literally just like, let me blow you.
Like the
Like just on her forehead, but like,
Ruthless.
but it was like 30 straight minutes. Like she did not move. I'm like, yo, like, are your arms getting
like,
tired?
so
like,
funny.
You saw it, I'm sure. The
Some
first 5
DJs would be
minutes
like,
it
all
was
right,
out.
get back here.
Marco Corolla.
yeah.
No, it's so funny though, because like we've been backstage with some of our friends. So they're married and he's DJing. His wife is literally standing right next to him, and we just look in the crowd and it's like, I want to fuck you. It's like, hello. no fucking regard.
No one cares.
No shame at all.
Yeah, there's definitely some DMs that were literally just like, why haven't we fucked already? I'm like,
I love the lines. You got to give them some.
No, you
credit.
gotta respect it.
Yeah,
You
we
gotta
got to
respect
respect
Digging
it.
into the personal life a little bit, you did mention you have a girlfriend. How is that? Like, is it hard to balance? Does she feel threatened, if you will, or are you just a great boyfriend?
No, she's so chill. She makes it
She's
so
chill.
easy, and
Yeah.
she loves a good time.
Yeah.
If there was any drama, it's like there's no shot this could work.
Yeah.
She
Right.
just makes it easy.
Yeah.
and she gets along with literally everybody.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear you have that. That's definitely
yeah.
important.
Well, you
in
always
your-
wonder, like,
in your
when
job.
artists like you have girlfriends, like how that works, right? And like what they must feel. So it's nice to know she's
Oh,
Has to
chilling.
be
people look
a
at me
confident
like,
girl.
"You're crazy." I'm like, she makes it easy for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sure you're a good guy. You're not going to be breaking any hearts out there.
No, I try to be a good guy. I have 3 sisters, so they humble me.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I think that definitely has something to do with like raising a good man. If you grow up with women, you know.
Yeah.
I have 4 brothers, so no
Oh.
woman in sight. She's shot.
He's still a good man. I love it. All right, is it explain this time?
Yeah, it definitely is. So we like to close up every episode here with a segment we call Explain This. We're going to show you a picture, and then you're just going to give us some context, give us the background, let us know how this played out. Can you explain what was going on during this moment?
This night.
Oh God.
I can't tell if Josh is like, no, you've had enough, or like, drink up.
More.
Josh is like the definition of work hard, play hard.
Good.
This guy can
it.
go out all night and wake up the next morning and like want like 10 things from you done.
You're like, bro, you were feeding me the bottle. Settle
No time
down.
off.
So that was at Somewhere Nowhere recently. I had a B2B with Baddies Only. Do you know who that is?
I think so.
Instagram page, right?
He is a
he's a
huge.
DJ, but he has a huge.
Oh, I
Huge
do. He's
following.
always like with the girls, kissing them and stuff. Yeah, I know.
Kissing them and stuff.
Yeah, that's his thing.
That's what all the kids are calling.
Yeah, and when I play, I love tequila. As do a lot of DJs, obviously.
Yep.
And there was a moment where I just needed a drink. He's like, "You want a drink? Here you go." And he just like poured.
Mouthful.
Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes there's not cups available.
What an enabler, man. What an enabler.
And the photographer was perfectly placed and got the shot.
I don't know if that. I don't think that was Somewhere Nowhere, by the way. I think that was my birthday.
No, that was Somewhere Nowhere.
Really?
That was recently.
Well, I mean, my
Maybe you
birthday
don't
was
remember.
also my birthday was also recently. They were like a week apart. Okay, well maybe I'm wrong, but
You'll figure it out. Josh, I know that, so you just said work hard, play hard is like a big part of you, but to people in the outside world, I think working in the music industry is like a dream. It's so glamorous. Every night's a party. It's so fun. Is that the reality though? I'm sure you're not going to say that it is.
I mean, one of my like the things that annoy me the most when anyone will say to me is like, "Oh, you don't work at all." I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking literally, fuck you.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, most of the time, like, look, it obviously is awesome in a lot of ways. I think I'm very fortunate too to, like, as I mentioned, like have a very tight knit group of friends. So like when I'm going to Coachella or any of these things where like I am working, I also have like all the homies
Yeah.
around, and that makes everything a lot easier and better. But yeah, I've recently discovered that like at my events that I'm running, like there's kind of an inverse relationship between how much fun I have and how much fun my friends have. So like every time my friends are like, that was the best party ever, I'm like, that was the worst night of my life.
One of our mutual friends said that you're the last person to be having fun at a party that you're sort of involved in.
Yeah, I mean, like when he's playing, I'll have fun. Like that, it's relatively easy.
Yeah.
Not like a ton of shit to do besides like handle guest list stuff, which that's easy. But yeah, I mean, there's just every once in a while I get like blessed and nothing goes wrong, and like I get to actually spend time with my friends. But like most of the time, most of my friends will tell you at like Nylon or any of those types of parties, like you barely see me. Like,
Yeah.
like, everyone's like, oh, I'm so excited to see you at Nylon. I'm like, yeah, I'll see you for 30 seconds and probably just be running around like a madman for 4 hours straight.
Yeah. Well, can you tell us a little bit about Nylon last year and
Your experience?
Because we had a blast. It was a great party.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you guys had fun.
Thank you.
No, it was, look, it was a tough situation with the city and cracking down and a lot of things. And look, I think you could look at it one way of like, it's a good sign that many people want to come to your party. And it's definitely like a party that has become so in demand.
Yeah.
It's pretty iconic.
Like I think last year at Coachella, I woke up on that Friday with like 2,400 texts.
Oh my God.
Of just like, and also like, that's the other thing. It's like, I haven't spoken to you in like 5 years. Like, don't ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a really in demand party. There's a lot of like celebrities and influencers and that kind of stuff. So that part's cool. But the downside of that is like all of those people expect to be taken care of as they should. And so when it's like, gets a little out of control at the door or something, you have a lot of people yelling and a lot of people trying to, everyone's trying to do their job, and those jobs don't always line up. So yeah, at that particular one, the fire marshals were there and making everyone's life a little bit difficult.
As they love to do.
Yeah. And so like I had a moment where like I couldn't even get one of the artists in.
Yeah.
And they
So
were like,
crazy.
we don't care. I'm like, what do you mean you don't care? Like, it's the party will end if I don't get them in. So it was a lot of that, and like a lot of just like running around, making sure riders are there, which like we have just like when all hell breaks loose there, you don't have to like, you don't have time to be like, oh, this isn't my job, like someone else should be doing this. It's just like everyone, and that includes everyone, like the whole team is just kind of all hands on deck, like just figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it just very much depends. That one particularly, we're fixing some of the problems this year. We're going to a way bigger venue for Art Basel. Actually, like it's probably the furthest out I have an idea of who we're gonna have play, which is like never happens this far out. But yeah, that one was particularly like a lot of demand, which like people kept telling us that Art Basel was going to be smaller last year. I don't know where anyone got that, because like the traffic was insane. It was like way more intense than like any other year. So yeah, I think like that one particularly was probably like the apex of like difficult to deal with. But everyone seemed to have a great time that was in.
Yeah,
So
I heard only great things. So
That was awesome.
you did a great job.
There you go.
Well, boys, thanks for coming here. Thanks for going B2B. It was amazing just to get to learn a little bit more about like the artist manager dynamic, for you to lift up the Val a little bit and give us a little bit more insight into behind the scenes and what's going on.
To like get into this side of things for a while now. So I'm glad we got to learn a little bit more about you guys. What's next for you? Any big things? Any things you want to plug?
I'm doing a couple parties at Coachella, which will be fun.
Sweet.
I don't know if you guys will be out there, but
Fortunately, we're skipping this year. Just literally don't have the energy to do it.
you'll miss the grass.
Takes it out of me.
I'll bring some back,
please.
for you.
And then Josh, what do you got?
Well, you have something else, a new song.
Oh, I have a new song. Man.
That's what managers are for.
That's what managers are for. Yeah, it's called Caffeine. It's coming out Friday, April 11th.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a song about espresso martinis, but it's like a club banger.
Sounds like sexy.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also have some friends that he brought along for this one.
We
Sweet.
do. Yeah,
Cool.
we have Hallie Batchelder and Remy Bader are going to do the sound bites.
There you go.
Oh my God, I love it. That's iconic.
They already did. The
They
sounds are
already did the sound
hilarious.
bites. Yeah.
That's so fun. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'll send you a little.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah, I'll send you the song after this.
So
Cool.
It'll be out by the time this airs. So
Yeah.
it'll be perfect.
Tune in.
Oh yeah, we can
Tune in.
create a good clip for it.
Yeah.
And then anything fun or big for you that you want to talk about?
Summer's always just crazy in general. I think, have all the Hampton stuff. I have a new venue opening out there this summer. That'll be fun. A lot of hopefully big talent that I'm going to be doing shows with. Summer's always like the busiest time of year. And then of course Nile and Coachella is right around the corner. So that's taking up most of my time right now, because that's one of the two like big nylons. We have, this won't be out yet. We have like James Hype as the headliner. Dove Cameron is this special guest performer.
Wait, that's sick.
Yeah. We found this format with our Basel last year where like we like break up the DJs with like a live performer.
Hugel and Ludacris, for example.
Yeah. And so people seem to really like that and just like switch up the vibe for like 20, 30 minutes. So we're going to do that again with Dove Cameron. And then we have an offer out to Austin Mills as support. Beau's playing it as well.
Sweet.
That'll be a fun one.
Fun. All exciting stuff.
100%.
Well, thank you guys. And
Thanks
to
again.
The listeners, thank you as well for listening. As always, if you like B2B podcast, share it with your friends, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks.
Thank you. Uski out.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.